What is going on, my movie fanatics, and welcome to the first of many Fear Face-Offs. Now, if you haven't seen the introduction to this video, go check it out. This series will be all week, or all month, I'm sorry. And I just want to say, before I get into the face-off, thank you guys so much for the positive feedback. I'm glad it's something new and original. I didn't know if anybody's ever done anything like this, so thank you guys for your honesty and your positive feedback. It always means a lot to me, so I'm really looking forward to it. So, who's up first? Well, the movies that I watched was Carrie and The Evil Dead. So let's jump right into it. I gotta show you guys something first, though, just to show you guys how serious I am about this. This is, I don't know if you can see, right here are all the notes that I took for just Evil Dead alone. Well, both movies, but the Evil Dead series alone, I guess you would call it. So let's jump right into it, guys. What I want to do is I'm going to talk about the major differences. As I said before, I don't want to talk about special effects or anything like that because that shouldn't count because you're talking different times here. So let's get into it. I will talk about the special effects at the end, but that'll be more how I feel about it within that decade. Fair enough? Fair enough. Here we go. So first series of movies I watched was the Evil Dead series. The original Evil Dead was made in 1981 and the newest one was made in 2013, or the remake, whatever you want to call it. In 1981, the director was Sam Raimi. We all know him very well. He's a famous director. And we had Bruce Campbell playing Ash, or Ashley. The character's name was Ashley, but everybody called him Ash instead. And we had Ellen Sandweiss playing Cheryl. Now those were my two main characters for this movie. And in 2013, the director was Fede Alvarez. If I butcher these names, I am so sorry. I am terrible with names. And we have Jane Levy as Mia and Shiloh Fernandez as David. So those are our main two characters. So let's get right into it. So what's the big difference? Well, let's start from the beginning of each film. First off, before I really jump into it, spoilers, guys. So if you haven't seen either of these films, do not watch these. I am going to talk about. I'm going to give most of the movie away. If you have seen them, join me. If not, I will warn you every episode. So the big difference with this, guys, is the beginning. How each movie opens up. We see that in the 1981 version, we have a group of friends, and they're just in the car. They're cruising around like these backwoods, and they're just like, hey, we got this cabin real cheap. Let's go on a mini vacation, and they're just kind of talking about it. They don't know why the cabin's cheap, though. That's the big thing. Now, in 2013, we see pretty much the same thing, but it opens up really differently. Instead of just jumping into the car driving through the woods, we see a very interesting intro. And the intro is, you see a family all huddled around well, at first it starts off with this girl running in the woods, and then eventually they tie her up, throw her in the, in this basement area, and you see the family huddled around her, and they burn her at the stake. Well, here you find out before they burn her, she is possessed by some demon, and this woman is talking about a book of evil, blah, blah, blah. And then it jumps into the actual film, which you see the four friends, or are they? So here's the big difference, guys. They're not all, yes, they're all very close friends. But David and Mia, the characters, are actually brother and sister in this film. And instead of going there for a vacation, they are going there for a detox. Mia is, they don't say what kind of drug, but she is battling a drug problem. So they're there to detox her. And another cool thing about it is that it's a childhood place. You see pictures of their family in there. You see pictures of the kids when they were younger. And it's very interesting to see that. So that was the big difference right off the bat. So let's jump kind of fast forward a little bit to how is the book introduced. Now the book in this film is like the Book of Evil, and it plays a huge role in both movies. And it lists everything that's kind of happened throughout the years and why are these demons here, what is going on, this cult, blah blah blah. In 1981, we see Cheryl she's drawing like a clock. And all of a sudden she kind of does this tick, and next thing you know, she draws a picture of a really childish picture of a book. And it's the first time we see this book in this film. So we don't even know about the book until at this point, which is probably 15 minutes in, I would say. Which we've already seen the book in the 2013. So what goes on from there? So how does the evil really draw the people in to taking control of them? 1981, after Cheryl draws the book, she hears noises and she gets confused, and she's in her room. She hears noises and crackling and whistling and all kind of weird stuff. She goes outside, she yells, "Hello, hello, hello." She ends up going into the woods. And the woods attacks her. I guess proper way to say it is it attaches itself to her. And she runs back to the thing, or to the cabin, screaming at everybody that something's going on, something's not right, blah, blah, blah. Now, in 2013, we all know that Mia is there for detox. So she's outside just pacing around, which never really made any sense. I mean, I understand you're going through detox, but it's pouring down rain, you're out there walking around. Why? All of a sudden, she sees a figure in the woods. She freaks out, goes inside, grabs her car keys, tells everybody she's leaving, hops out the back window, and takes off in the car. Car crashes, she manages to survive, she gets out, and that is how the evil plants its seed. So big similarity here is that the evil picks somebody to feed off of first. I would say in 2013 they did a little bit better job in a sense where you could tell Mia's weak mentally and physically because she's going through detox. Cheryl is just picked, I guess she's just picked. So that's that. So once everybody gets infected and the demon shows itself, okay, you have to get that moment of when the demon shows itself. In 1981, we see the demon, they are playing cards, and Cheryl's sitting by the window, and they're playing cards, guess the cards. Eventually, she starts naming all the cards on a dime, turns around, stands up, and that's how you see the demon. They fight her off, they throw her into the basement, lock her up. Pretty much the same thing happens with this one, but Mia has a gun, and she shoots her brother, and one friend, Olivia, grabs her, tackles her, I want to say. She throws up on her, she throws her into the basement, locks her, and then they lock her in. So once again, folks, you see the same similarity here. I mean, it's completely on two different ends of the spectrum, but they do focus on the same focal point. So that's pretty much that. Also, there's a main weapon in both of these, and it's a shotgun. The shotgun is used very much in both movies. So that was really cool to see. Before I forget the main big difference between these films, how is the evil brought back? What brings back to life the evil? In 1981, they find an old recorder, and they play back, and this gentleman is just speaking, we've done tests and da 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 da, and all of a sudden he starts rambling this Latin, and then the evil comes out. 2013, when they find the book in the basement, after it draws them in, actually, I didn't explain how they are drawn in. In 2013, everybody's drawn in by a smell. It's actually, Mia smells it, and she complains about it, and the dog, they have a dog in this one as well, starts clawing at the ground. They remove this thing, and they find the basement. They go in, David and Eric find this book. So the books are, like I said, the big main part, but the guy on the record plays, or on the tape recorder plays, and says this Latin. Eric is a teacher, a high school teacher, they say, and he ends up reading the inscription and bringing the evil back. Now, the big thing that actually made or break this film for me was the ending. In 1981, there's a lot of fighting. The demon has possessed two people. You see Ash fighting them off. He's the survivor. And, you know, he ends up fighting them off and finds out that the book gets slid by the fire and the fire starts smoking. He finds out that if you destroy the book, you destroy them. Pretty cool. 2013, there was a huge difference on this. Eric actually takes the book and tries burning it. It doesn't burn. So you know that this is going to end differently. What ends up happening is David is our main survivor for the most part until the end. He actually buries Mia because you find out the 3 ways to get rid of the demon is live burial, body dismemberment, or fire. So he buries her, he brings her back, he makes a makeshift defibrillator, brings her back to life, she's good, the demon's gone. Well, long story short, that's 81, Eric is not dead yet, he comes back with the evil, and David fights him off while Mia runs out. Well, it was just enough for the soul, or the demon collected enough souls to come back to life. So it starts raining blood on Mia, the demon comes out to life, there's a big fight between the two of them, Mia loses her hand, gets cut up pretty good, and she finds a chainsaw in the shed, cuts the demon's leg off, crippling the demon, and at the end takes the chainsaw and got some blood and glue everywhere. So yeah, that's how it ended. Very differently from just throwing a book into the fire and watching everything, you know, after you fought off all your friends. Very differently. Who's gonna take the cake on this one? Well, as for acting, I thought both movies had phenomenal actors. I think they both did a good job. You felt the fear, you were good. I liked the love. There was love in between each movie, even though in the original it was more boyfriend-girlfriend love, and in the new one it was family love. But still, matter of fact, love. So acting was good. Storyline, I think the storyline is going to go to the classics on this one. The storyline was a lot smoother, wasn't as choppy, made more sense to me. In 2013, it started off really making a lot of sense. Like, we're here because of detox, we're here to save our friend, we love our friend. So, guys, who wins the Evil Dead face-off? It's going to have to be 1981. I thought the storyline just was a lot better. It was a lot smoother. It made more sense to me. It was easy to follow. I felt like I was slipping in the 2013 a lot. Like, okay, how many times can we watch somebody get hit with a crowbar? You know, or whatever. Both good films, though. I would recommend both of them to watch during this time. It's really cool to see the differences. So let's talk special effects real quick, and we'll move on to the next film. These special effects, 1981, holy crap, were amazing in my eyes. Were they a little bit cheesy? Of course they were cheesy at times, but I thought the special effects and the gore aspect of it was just off the charts. It made the movie so much better. Just gore everywhere. And as for 2013, I would not expect anything less. I thought the special effects were perfect. I didn't think they were overdone. I thought the gore was where it should have been. I loved it. So yes, that is the special effects. Once again, classics takes the cake on the Evil Dead. Next to the movies I did was Carrie. Now Carrie is a favorite movie of mine, so this was tough and this was fun because it's been a while since I have seen the original, and I haven't seen the remake since, I think it was in theaters was the last time I saw it. I've had it in my collection, I just haven't gotten around to watching it. So the original Carrie was made in 1976. Director was Brian De Palma. We had Sissy Spacek as Carrie and Piper Laurie as Margaret White. I'm going to call her Mama White because it's easier that way. And Amy Ivering as Sue Smale. For Carrie in 2013, we had the director Kimberly Pierce, Chloe Grace Moretz as Carrie, Julianne Moore as Mama White, and Judy Greer as the coach. Okay, so let's get into this. I loved both of these films. You guys are gonna probably be shocked towards the end of my decision. Let's start with the opening. In 76, we see the girls in gym, they're playing volleyball, they're having a good time. You see the awkward girl in the corner, which is Carrie, and, you know, the thing happens and the one girl tells her to eat quote-unquote shit. And they make the big joke, they go into the locker room. 2013 is the big difference here. We see Mama White giving birth to Carrie, and it's very, not graphic, but it's well done how it's done. And then it goes into the girls are swimming in this one, not a big deal, but they're still in gym class and they're playing pool volleyball. So they're playing in the pool, they're playing volleyball, and the same thing happens. You see the crazy girl, or the, not crazy girl, I'm gonna call Carrie crazy. You see the quiet girl in the corner, she throws the ball up, hits the one girl in the head, same thing happens, eat shit, and then they end up into the bathroom. So let's talk about the main scene of this movie that kind of really makes you feel who Carrie is, and that is the shower scene. I just want to say first off that I thought that both girls did a phenomenal job playing Carrie. I don't think you could find a better two girls. And I just love both scenes. But, okay, so 76. You're portraying high school. Why does you have a bunch of naked old women running around? Not that it's awkward, I mean, not that I'm hating on that or anything, but it was just weird to see girls running around naked and just being, I don't know, they looked older too. I guess because it was a year, but they looked older. Now in 2013, I did the same scene, but it was appropriate. You had girls talking on their phones, talking to each other, you know, yeah, you had some bra shots or whatever, but whatever. And then you get to the shower scene with Carrie, and she finds out she becomes a woman. In 76, it's very dramatic, very like, you can feel her in her heart, like, I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know what this means to become a woman. She runs over to the girls, gets blood on the one girl. The girls freak out, and they start yelling, plug it up, and throwing the, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys are probably laughing. They end up throwing, I'm keeping this in here because this is funny watching me get all awkward on camera. They start throwing the woman products at her. Same thing happens, but it's not as dramatic in 2013. You see her showering, you see the famous belly scene with the soap against the belly, and she reaches down, she becomes a woman, she starts yelling help, she runs over, she grabs the blouse, and, you know, things happen. Plug it up, plug it up. But this time you see a cell phone involved, making it more new-aged. Now, which I love most about this was the coach. Both coaches were phenomenal in these films. I think that they handled it well when they came in. I love to see the slap, and even from 76 and 2013 when Carrie gets slapped by Coach, because it's like, hey, wake up. You know, you're being normal. Calm down. I really like that. So let's get into, after all that stuff happens, we get into the principal. The principal is a big difference between 76 and 2013. In 76, he's kind of an ass, to be honest with you guys. He's just like, well, it's her man, or it's her womanlyhood. Get over it, you know. In 2013, he is very sincere. He offers her water. He cares. He wants to help her. He's a very good man. So two scenes that are different, and you guys are going to know why. This doesn't really change my judgment of either film, was the famous principal. 76, he calls her Cassie. Call Cassie in. Cassie this, Cassie that. The coach keeps telling her no, no, no. She gets so mad that she flips the ashtray. Don't forget in the shower scene as well, we do see the lights being blown out beforehand. And you're starting to wonder, how is Carrie able to do this? 2013, the same thing happens. But instead of the principal setting Carrie off, now the principal does call her Casey, but it doesn't set her off. They said, we're going to call your mom. Your mom's going to come in and help you. And it sets her off, and she blows up the water jug thing for the water that the principal gives her. So pretty interesting, same difference. So then we see, let's talk about Mama White. Amazing. I will get into this in a minute, but I love Mama White. She's my favorite character out of these movies, and I love how they changed it up. 1976, she is a preacher almost. She doesn't really have a job. They don't really say if she has a job or not. But you see her preaching to other women about, you know, how teens are in sin, blah blah blah. In 2013, she's a tailor. She's you see her sewing and being a tailor, and it's really interesting how they did that differently. So, also we see her. We know that the mom hurts herself. In 1976, we see it towards the end of the film. In this one, we see it throughout the entire film. We see scrapes on her arm. We see her smashing her head several times. She pokes her hip. She does all kinds of crazy stuff in this film. In 2013, Carrie they really show her mastering the art of telekinesis. In 76, just a few things happen, and you're just like, oh, okay, she's kind of learning it. So that's that. Now, what about the big famous scene where Mom finds out that Carrie has the telekinesis power? Well, in 1976, they're having dinner. She says, "Mom, I've been asked to go to prom." And they get into a big fight. She's going towards the window. Carrie shuts all the windows, locks the doors, and says, you know, "I'm going, I'm not a freak, blah, blah, blah." And in 2013, we kind of see the same thing, but she explains it more, that it was passed down from grandma or her father. We don't know who it was, but you see her they get into a fight, she lifts up all of the furniture, slams it down, and pushes her with like the telekinesis. It's really cool. So that is that. Let's get into the ending. Two major differences in the ending, but not really. After Carrie destroys the school, pretty much the same thing. You see Carrie killing her mother. Now, in 1976, she kills her mother by throwing the knives and stuff into her, but it is the exact same way as the Jesus in the closet. So check out the Jesus in the closet. You can see the same exact, where the knives are. Same exact way. And in 2013, she kills her, but it's just like a normal cross and stabs her to death. You know, so she gets killed. Mom gets killed. 1976, she freaks out, grabs her, throws her in the closet, sucks the house down. And it ends that way, where Sue has been through all kind of dramatic things. She is stressed, and you see her walking up to Carrie's house, where the house was. You see Carrie White burns in hell, and she puts a bouquet of flowers. Carrie's hand comes up and grabs her, and then you see her wake up from this dream, and the mom's like, calm down, Sue's mom. In 2013, once the mom is dead, you see Sue standing there in the house with Carrie. She witnesses the whole thing. Carrie puts her hand up and says, "No, get away, it's a girl." So you find out that Sue is actually pregnant in this one. Sue gets pushed out of the house, and Carrie freaks out, destroys the house. So Sue ends up visiting her, well, they show like a judge and they're talking about the whole incident, and then you see Sue go up to her gravestone. She is buried, I'm assuming, in this one they have a head mark, you know, for her. Puts a rose on it, and Carrie, or you don't see Carrie's hand, I'm sorry, you see cracks going up the tombstone. And that is how it ends. Special effects, I thought in 1976, awesome. I love the fire hose when she's ripping everything out. In the school, she's, you know, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You can't go wrong. I love how they did do the telekinesis. Because in 76 they didn't have it, and they did the split down where she would go like this, and then you would see somebody fly in another panel. Really cool technique. It was fun. Didn't really lose my interest. I loved it. Also, the car flip was really cool in 1976, where she flips the car. And in 2013, we see pretty much the same thing. What can you expect? It was awesome. When she gets mad, you see the blood actually lift off of her arms. You see her through moons and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's more graphic. So don't forget, guys, one little note that I wanted to say. Big difference. coach dies in 1976. Carrie kills the coach in 2013. The coach actually lives. She spares her life. It looks like she's going to kill her, but she does not. So that's also something you got to look at. So I thought special effects are great. Everything was fun. I think I loved how Carrie mastered her powers more in 2013, but I also loved the storyline. So acting, acting, don't get me started. Both movies blew it out of the water. Acting was phenomenal. I will give it to Mama White in 2016. I thought she was a better actress. I thought she did a better job. You saw the more cycle. Don't get me wrong, Julianne Moore is amazing. Awesome. I thought both girls did a phenomenal job as Carrie. I thought the subtle differences were good differences in 2013. I didn't think it ruined the story at all. So who takes the cake? I'm actually honestly going to have to give this one a draw, guys. I thought each film was awesome. I thought each film brought its own something new to the table. So they were unique in their own ways. So I'm going to give it a draw. So as always, guys, if you like this face-off, if it's too long and you want me to shorten it, let me know. And as always, everybody, take care and happy watching.